Hi everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. Well, we've got a warm start to the week this week across both islands. We've got northerly quarter winds for many areas in the north and easterly quarter winds for many others. This is the setup. You can see that subtropical system coming down for the north, but also the easterly flow coming through central areas, and that's due to high pressure which is just parked off the east coast of the South Island. But it's this big low that's been around for nearly a week. It brought serious flooding to parts of Tasmania on Friday night, and then over the weekend it roared up the eastern side or the southeastern side of Australia. Now it's out at sea and it is starting to weaken. The middle part of it is growing and the whole system is starting to fill in, but it is still going to bring in some wind and rain towards the middle part of this week around New Zealand. So let's take a look and see what Tuesday looks like. The centre of the low still out at sea, still well away from us, but the outer rain clouds starting to arrive, and they will certainly arrive towards evening in many western areas of both islands. Before that, there'll be a bit of patchy rain in the middle part of the country, and it'll be dry in many other regions, especially the further south you go, heading towards that high pressure. But once we get to Wednesday, that centre of that low comes in, makes landfall around the upper South Island by the looks of it, and it really does fall apart. Now there's another main feature that happens on Wednesday. That warmer airflow finally disappears and we get a colder south to southwest change that arrives. So once we reach Thursday, we are into that colder southwest flow nationwide. Now it'll be still fairly mild, I think, in that northeastern corner, but if you're down here in the southern half of the South Island, expect colder winds, snow on the mountains and ranges as well. And on Friday, you get another surge of cold air. And get used to that, because that does seem to be the pattern for the rest of this week and going into the weekend and even the start of next week. One cold surge after the other. So this one on Friday brings another burst of rain on the west coast, strong winds through the mountains and a cold surge of air behind it. Fairly dry around the North Island though. And then we get to Saturday and you can see two classic cold fronts coming through. The first one moving into the North Island, the second one approaching the South Island with another colder change behind it that pushes colder air further up the south. Snow on the mountains, the ranges, the ski fields, and then towards next week we might be getting even colder as another southerly surge comes in. So make the most of the next 48 hours or so. That's the last of this warmer than average weather for most of the regions, and then we're back to the more typical colder sou'westers which we get at this time of the year. That's all from me. Our next update will be around on Tuesday.